Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Rocket Radio Podcast, the rebellious Pokemon podcast. I am Zach Toshi, joined by JPR, Infamous Trainer, and the Pokeraf. As you can see, today we got a really interesting Pokemon discussion for you guys. It's actually a full-on Rocket Roast podcast. And the first thing we want to tackle is the big news of the new Pokemon Horizons time skip arc that has just begun. There's been quite a few interesting takes regarding about what happened in the episode. Pretty controversial. Before we get into the main Rocket Roast, even though you guys can see it, John, I know you didn't watch it, so I'm not even going to ask. But Jaleel, someone who has watched it, what are your thoughts real quick?
I didn't watch it.
I know you didn't watch it.
Maybe I just started at episode 91, whatever it is.
You see those Twitter clips, bro? You must be seeing it on Twitter.
I see Twitter clips sometimes against my better judgment.
Yeah, I mean, as far as it goes, solid opening. I don't know if I want to say it's better than like the original first two episodes of Pokemon Horizon, but they were good episodes. I enjoyed it. I love seeing the growth of mainly Roy. He coming with some different energy, and I'm here to vibe with it. I like it. Lucario's Lucario. It's kind of what, at least on the surface so far, is what we expected. It's a Lucario that's just yellow.
We wanted him to not be an aura farmer, but how could he not be?
Literally is an aura farmer.
At that point, pulling in golden aura at that. The man is built different. But no, the first episode's been strong. Love the character interaction, seeing like him, Roy interact with Anne, back with Liko. Dot's like our guy in the chair. So it's a vibe. I like it so far.
Awesome.
Hey, man, listen, like I said on my video, Horizons broke the internet, all right? And seeing that Samurott versus Lucario battle, it's pretty crazy. Samurott pulled up the Zoro. Three sword
I caught that. It went two sword and then it went three sword style. That was a nice One Piece reference. Animation wise, though, I don't know why that battle was kind of mid, in my opinion. It wasn't crazy. It's very weird. You'd think like for a new season, especially like coming off the time skip, they'd go crazier on the animation, but it hasn't been hitting as much as the early series for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, the big thing that we're going to talk about today is Roy and Lucario. Obviously, there was a big talk like, why did he just randomly get a Lucario, a shiny Lucario that can Mega Evolve after the 1 year time skip? And, some people like it. I think it's cool. Like the golden aura looks really cool. But like, there's been a lot of controversy because it's like, all right, now he's just kind of like Ash. Because for context, for those who hasn't seen it, mainly for John here, there's a clip during the battle against Anne and Samurott where like, they kind of get in sync. They sync up their auras, and like Roy can like feel Lucario's aura, and it's just kind of like, well, that's kind of random. That kind of don't really make sense. Like it's one thing give him a Lucario, but now he can sense aura. That's something that's like it's not an Ash exclusive thing, but it's like Ash is one of the rare people who can, and then you get lots of people complaining, oh my god, we're like it's of course it can sense aura. Lucario's the aura Pokemon. It just makes sense that every Lucario could do that. It's like, no.
But not every person can do it.
Not every person can do it.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
In fact, it's pretty well established in the canon of the anime that not every person can do that.
Exactly.
You don't see Kukui pulling it up, or even Cameron.
Well,
neither of them.
That's why Kukui's Lucario sucked.
Yeah, he didn't even have aura. I don't think.
He did get bodied. He did get bodied quick.
Lucario? Oh, sorry. Cynthia had Lucario too, right?
No,
not in
the anime.
Not anime, just the games.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me read off the tweet. Let's read off this tweet real quick. It was Glaceon. Yeah, it was Glaceon.
Yeah.
Because she basically has her main in-game team, and then it's Glaceon that gets replaced, I think.
They actually gave her a Glaceon in the games after giving her one in the anime.
Black 2 and White 2, you mean?
Pretty
Black and White?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
All right, so this tweet that we're going to be roasting is saying, people need to stop for a second and think. Roy is not being a knockoff of Ash. The ability to utilize aura for Lucario should be a default trait earned by any trainer with the Lucario. Stop trying to justify calling Roy a dollar store Ash and just enjoy the anime. Boy.
I want to hear the Pokeraf's take on this.
All right, yeah, go ahead, Ralph.
Yeah, let us know.
This boy crazy. I just said, bro, like Cameron, Kukui, did even friggin' Riley show off aura this way?
Riley did.
Was Riley?
He did.
Aura,
See, but not to this extent. Not the same like Ash pose of like, and then freaking powering up.
Actually, yes, technically. Like, so the way it works, like in the anime, it's like obviously they introduced it in the 8th movie, And I was like, back in the old days of like Sir Aaron, there were like aura guardians, people who can like wield the power of aura. And it's established that everyone has aura. Aura is basically just kind of like life energy, but not everyone can use it. Lucario, obviously being the aura Pokemon, can utilize aura, can sense aura. Every Lucario can do that, but not every human and every Lucario trainer can do that. It's like there are only a select few who can sense aura. And in the modern day, the only ones are like Riley, who is also an aura guardian. He can actually use aura, kind of like Ash did. And of course, then there's Ash. But then, like you guys mentioned, like Kukui doesn't use aura. He doesn't even sense aura. Neither does Cameron. What's his name? I forgot the rival
Maylene's
from the Maylene. Does Maylene? I think she does.
No, I don't think
I'm not
she
sure. I don't know.
I
if she
think
did.
I think Maylene is able to sense aura, but not use it. I'm
Bro,
looking at
nobody else has done this.
I'm
with,
looking on the
like,
Bulbapedia
Ash.
page right now. Full disclosure, I don't know this off the top of my head, but Bulbapedia says that the only humans in the anime who are able to use aura and not just sense aura are Ash and Riley.
And now freaking this guy, Roy.
And now Roy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll explain more, but it's just, it feels weird. And I think the biggest problem is obviously everyone's making the comparison to Ash, because it's like Roy already had like pre-time skip. He had like the typical Pokemon trainer personality and design, so he was already kind of like the stand-in for Ash in this series. Anyways, and now he has. Think about it. He has Crocolore, so he has the regional starter. He has the regional bird. Now he has Captain Pikachu, so he has a Pikachu on his team, and now he has a Lucario. It's like he basically has an Ash team, and the fact that he can sense his Lucario's aura now, it's not adding to like, it's not helping with the Ash Ketchum allegation.
That's why the hat had to go. They were like, oh, if
he's
he
too much.
He's gonna be too much like him.
He's too much. But yeah, when it comes to like aura, like it's not even the problem that it's like, oh, he can sense aura. It's the fact that it's like he's already too close to Ash. This is just like this isn't helping with that. And it's like people gotta realize it's like, yes, every Lucario can sense aura, because I got a lot of complaints in my short when I was bringing up like, why does he have aura? It's like, well, duh, every Lucario trainer should do that. It's like, no, dummy.
You literally don't. Tell me you don't watch the anime. Even I know that. not every Lucario trainer you can use aura.
Yeah.
I had one person also try to link it's like, oh, they have a stronger bond because he can mega evolve. And I was like, I don't remember Karina wielding aura either. So like that doesn't make sense.
Talk to him.
So like, what do we mean by that?
Any Poke fans will justify anything, dog. It's crazy.
Yeah, I got so much. He
is knockoff Ash. Like, I don't know why that's just not accepted. He's meant to be knockoff Ash.
Yeah, and it's
that's that's his role in the show.
That's low key his role.
What it tells me is that they don't have enough confidence in him to stand on his own 2 feet as a character, and they're like, let's just make him as close to Ash as possible.
And the crazy part is, it's like obviously like pre-time skip, Liko was the big focus of Horizons, but if you see like with how the series is structured now, like it seems like Roy is going to be the focus of the second half, so that they basically just have Ash Ketchum. And I saw a lot of complaints of like, well, if they were gonna get rid of Ash anyways and just have Roy end up being like Ash, what was the point of getting rid of him to begin with? Which I feel like I still stand by. I think it's good that we let Ash retire, but it's like I agree with like, if you're just gonna make Roy become like Ash, then it's just like, what was the point? Like, like,
yeah,
you could have just kept Ash and just aged him up and called it a day.
Yeah,
like,
so
wait till he comes into the anime aged up, and then he's like Roy's mentor figure.
Internet's broken, dog.
Already, bro. I've told you.
He's gonna come back 1 year older and look exactly the same. He's not gonna look any different.
Or they pull some BS and just make him. Oh, he's actually 9 years old. He hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, so everybody who disagrees with this,
go kick rocks, bro.
Go kick rocks and actually watch the anime, or just like do what John did and pull up a Bulbapedia page, bro. You will know that this is
a Bulbapedia page and do some freaking research, dog.
Yeah. Isn't the Mega Evolution animation the exact same too?
No, it's completely different actually.
No, that's different. They
actually
swapped that.
Actually, I talked about how they didn't. The animation was kind of lacking. The only place where it was actually really good was the Mega Evolution sequence. I guess that's where all the budget went to. It was really.
I feel like that's the norm for most Pokemon series, though, is that they start off like with really good animation, and then like after like episode 10 or 20, it kind of tapers off. And they're like, all right, we're just logging episodes now until we get to something hype.
Yeah, it's weird too, because
and then like, towards the end of the series, it kind of loops back up.
It's peak again.
Yeah, they got good stuff to animate.
It's weird because like we had like a really big climax in the previous arc against Zygarde, the White Zygarde, when they were fighting it. But like even then, the animation was fine. Like it was good, but it's like it wasn't as crisp as I thought it would be for like basically this big, I guess, turning point or halfway point for the series. So it's just kind of it's interesting. I don't know, probably some stuff happening behind the scenes because as many know, and for those who don't know, animators have a terrible work life balance, and
they don't have
the conditions are just
balance.
not good.
They just have work. They just have work.
They're usually overworked, and so we don't know what's going on. But yeah, I just kind of wish it looked a little bit better. But yeah, I guess that is. I don't really have anything else much to add. I did watch the episode and the episodes, and I've enjoyed it. But I'm gonna rewatch it again for when I do my review. But I'll save my full thoughts on that later on. But I just mostly want to talk about this Lucario and Royce because there's people up in arms. It's the camp of like, just enjoy it, bro. He's not like Ash, and it's like there's the other ones who are like where I'm at, where it's like, come on, bro. Like just it is. They're trying to make him Ash. It's okay.
Yeah, they're trying to bring that familiar. Yeah, they're bringing that familiar vibe back. They're like, people maybe didn't like Legal that much. What do we do? Make him like Ash. Let's call it a day.
Like him sensing aura, I don't really like it. I wasn't ready on the fence with the Lucario, but it's like, at least they made it shiny, and we'll see. Obviously, they got to hype up Mega Evolution to promote ZA and stuff like that. Okay, and obviously Mega Lucario is one of the most popular Megas, so marketing-wise, it makes sense to do it. But once you start making him sense aura and start to like connect through the aura, similar like to Ash and Lucario, it's like, well, now I feel like you're doing a little bit too much. Because even like you said earlier, Karina doesn't even do it like this, and she can Mega Evolve her Lucario. So like, I hope maybe they justify it.
They could have done it.
One
thing I am worried about too.
The only way they justify it is if this is actually freed, but he's transformed into a Lucario.
Stop. You know, funny you say that because actually the Japanese voice of this Lucario is the same voice as Japanese Free.
We might have rocket roasted Trey, but he might be right.
John, you might be cooking, bro.
I don't think he's right. I think it's just a coincidence. He wanted to keep the actor, like obviously Free's gonna be gone for most of the series at this point, so it's like, how do we keep the voice actor still relevant in the show?
That's why Captain Pikachu's around, bro.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be funny though? Wouldn't it be funny if he was
like a Detective Pikachu moment? Oh my god, it all comes together.
It's so weird. I guess the last thing that I'll say regarding this too is just like what really bothers me too. It's like about the aura thing is that it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Because if they hinted at it beforehand that Roy was special or he had some sort of aura thing, but he was just a regular kid and all of a sudden he can sense aura, it feels kind of random. Like it feels a little forced.
A little weird too, because they more mentioned it in that second battle, but not when he turned Mega, and I was like, okay. You were fighting a stronger opponent then too. So why didn't it kick in during the beginning? My additional ask is like, and this is like a high ask when knowing Pokemon, don't give it Aura Sphere. Please, like
it's never happening. Though.
That's a high ask. I
know that boy gonna learn Aura Sphere in like less
Aura Sphere. Honestly, I expect to see a golden Aura Sphere. Is what I expect.
Hey, that'd be pretty crazy. Actually, I'm not gonna.
It would look dope, but it's just they just give another reason, like 1-to-1 correlation to Ash, because like Ash is spammed Aura Sphere. If it wasn't Aura Sphere, it was like double team for whatever reason.
It has 3 moves actually so far. There's an unconfirmed 4th, so that's probably
one unconfirmed move.
It's gonna be Aura Sphere.
What is it? It's Metal Claw
or
Close Combat and Flash Cannon. So there's one missing. It's probably Aura Sphere.
if they're feeling adventurous, Bone Rush.
Bone Rush, yeah, they wouldn't bring it because that was a classic Lucario move they put on there.
Yeah. I do like how Bone Rush is animated in the anime. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
The yellow colors are disgusting to me, personally.
What?
Nah, this looks cool. It's one in Mega Evolves where it looks like piss yellow, but this is actually like really satisfying.
Oh, those yellow colors. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan Aura though? Bro, that looks...
I mean, so far he shares 0 moves with Ash's Lucario. I mean, Flash Cannon and Steel Beam are kind of...
They're like
kind of similar.
They're similar. When I first watched it, I thought it was Steel Beam for a second.
Ash barely used it anyway. He barely used Steel Beam.
He forgot like 2 times Steel Boom for Bullet Punch? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Hey man, he needs the priority.
I guess.
Just some Mexican. The full name is covered up. Dropping the Canadian with the mustache. There we go. Dropping the Canadian bucks. I can't believe they're trying to push Roy, despite him being the least popular new character from Horizons. At least according to Japanese polls. That is actually insane. I didn't know that.
That's probably why. You're like, we gotta make him cool. Here's Lucario. Here's Pikachu.
How do you make him cool?
Does it feel weird to you guys? I know maybe it might be different for you guys since you watch the anime like consistently, but like For me, it's kind of weird to think like, oh yeah, Ash just isn't around anymore. Like, have you had that feeling where you're just like, it's kind of strange that he's not the main character. Like, they're gonna be kids who grow up without Ash.
Let me tell you, as a fellow Annie-Poke creator, I've been feeling it for the past 3 years.
It's definitely there.
Right, you are, Ref.
I mean, I guess going back to this, I didn't know Roy was I thought it was gonna be like Dot. I feel like Dot's the least popular.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, to be honest.
Actually, no, Dot's pretty relatable. A lot of people like.
I mean,
like her.
It is, but I would just assume just because of how personality close Roy is to Ash, people are like, oh yeah, we like Roy. He's a fun character. But being the least popular, it's actually insane. Crazy work.
So when they say least popular character, they mean between like the big four, right? Like Freed, Liko, Roy, and
I assume so. Probably. Maybe Amethio's mixed in there.
Amethio's definitely more popular.
He's like top 2.
That guy's.
Oh yeah,
I feel like of those 4 characters, 5 if you count Amethio. Like I feel like Roy's the one that's talked about the least, at least from what I've seen.
Because he's so like
there's nothing to talk about because
bro.
He is pretty one-dimensional, and it looks like again they're bringing in all these elements to add a little bit more to him, whether it's Lucario, he now has Cap. Oh, wait a minute, this is just Ash.
Hot take, he's holding back the anime.
Damn, you think so?
I mean, we'll see now because they're adding more to him, but it's just kind of like how I said before, like in the first half of Horizon, pre-time skip, he was kind of just the stand-in generic Pokemon trainer. You know, he had basically the same personality as Ash, and it kind of makes you think like how Ash would be like if he was in this show, how much he would kind of stick out like a sore thumb compared to these characters who are actually a bit more fleshed out or have more depth to them, because it's like at least Ash in the later end, like by Sun and Moon Journeys, where like his character was kind of stale and he was just kind of like, I want to be Pokemon Master, and that's his whole character. Roy's whole character is like, I want to catch Rayquaza. That's kind of it. He's kind of boring. So I take that how you will.
What he's doing now?
What he's doing now? Oh, they're like investigating like the effects of like the Loquium thing that's causing Pokemon to go berserk. So it's kind of like the aftermath of that. So it's like, yeah, he's not even going after Rayquaza anymore for now. He's probably gonna do it by the end, but like he's more like.
And it's interesting because they pulled an alt to fill that void of like, oh, we still have Rayquaza. That was a really cool concept. We don't want to lose that. Bring in alt. He's still gonna pursue that while we have Roy be the like. Loquium hunter, I guess. I don't know.
So to go off of Zach's point just now and John's point, where John, you were saying that, what were you saying about like they're playing it safe by making it like Roy like Ash?
It just kind of feels like that they didn't have really confidence in the product without Ash.
Yeah, so
like we're just
I think you're right about that. Like what it feels like to me is that they want to try something new with like Freed, Liko, Dot, and all these new characters, and these are characters with depth, right? There's more to them than like you would with Ash and Roy, but they kept Roy there as like a fail-safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And maybe when we get to Gen 10, maybe when we get to Gen 10, like they'll push Roy aside and they'll go with like a wholly original cast of characters that don't resemble Ash in any way, shape, or form. Like,
but in that way, I really do think Roy is actually holding things back. So this makes sense to me.
Roy is kind of like that comfort character where like, oh, if you're not used to Liko and the new style of the anime, Roy brings like something familiar. He definitely feels
junk
like
food, bro. He's Oreos.
Like he feels like the old school Pokemon stuff, you know.
They should have just full committed.
That's what he is. I feel like, but I think now, like in the time skip, he seems to be kind of filling in the role of Freed. Basically, that's kind of what he's become now.
Freed is basically like okay. Freed is also like we were memeing about him being like Ash in the beginning too.
But he's
I know he's not. Yeah, he's like, I know.
But it's true because Freed is, and I've said this before. I don't know if I said this on the pod or not, but Freed definitely feels like what Ash would be like if he actually aged. He's got the Charizard, he's got the Pikachu, and now that Freed is gone and Roy's taking up that role, it's just like, damn, it really is just Ash Ketchum, bro. He's never really left the show when you think about it.
We can't wait for Gen 10's new anime if we get.
I think at this point, now that you guys are now hearing it all, they should, instead of point now, just to keep people on their toes, bring them something a little bit different. They should just go full forced, just something different, push the envelope a bit. Because when you look at other franchises, and maybe that's why they're playing a little bit safe, because other franchises have swapped. I think the only one that I think is comparable is when you did like Yugi to Jaden, That was really successful.
Just about to say that.
I don't know about I forget what the season 2 tamers were for Digimon, but I don't think that transition was as good. Yeah, I think they're that one was a bit more so they definitely play a safer route. I think now we're coming up on hey, it's been a while. At that point, it'll be 6 years since Ash has been gone, or however long it's been, depending on how long when that series will get to the end. Push the envelope. Push the envelope with it. Might as well go all the way. Pokemon, you got the money. So
I think it's kind of like what John said. We're in Gen 10, we're probably going to get something completely different. I just feel like this is probably needed, even though it does feel like, it is kind of just a little bit of the same, and Roy is holding it back. It's just kind of look at all the backlash Horizons gets already because Ash isn't in it. People still comment, I want Ash back. Horizon sucks because Ash is not in it. Because we've had Ash for so long, I feel like this was kind of necessary to kind of be a slow transition. It's we kind of got, because they have the dual protagonist thing where it's you have Liko and Roy, so technically half of the show revolves around someone who's like Ash, so and then that'll hopefully help you segue into Liko and Dot and different characters, and then hopefully by the time we get to Gen 10, which would be around I guess 4 years since removed from Journeys, and it's we're kind of used to the idea that Ash being gone, they can do kind of whatever they want now and not have to worry about we still want Ash, even though there's always going to be people who want it, but it'll be more time since then. So I think it's only a matter of time.
People will get over it eventually. They always do.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they never do. They're still Dexit people, so
that's crazy.
They're not as loud as they used to be, but they're still around.
They're still there.